Before you order that grande, ask yourself what's actually in it. You see foam, caramel, and a pretty cup.
Well, it's long been believed that caffeine exacerbates irregular heart rhythms, but a new trial has found patients with atrial fibrillation can have a cup of coffee without doing harm.
And the condition that they have was a common abnormal rhythm of the heart called atrial fibrillation. And this can affect people from kind of middle age on, where they tested this proposition. And it was quite a difficult trial to do because you actually had to ask your control group to abstain from coffee or decaffeinated coffee or caffeine-containing products, whilst the other group took coffee, about a cup a day.
I see a drink that can hide 50 to 75 grams of sugar from syrups that act like liquid candy, plus vague, natural flavors, doing heavy lifting. Stay with me. In the next minutes, I'll show you how those skinny swaps still stack sugar, why seasonal lattes lean on corn syrup flavoring, and which simple orders cut the hype and your intake without cutting caffeine. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video.
And not enough time on what is the experience that Starbucks provides.
Right now, some customers say that experience isn't positive. Free to the public bathrooms have caused loitering and long lines. WSJ's restaurant reporter Heather Haddon sat down with Nicole to learn where he thinks Starbucks' problems lie and how he plans to revamp mobile ordering and store layout to bring customers back in. And mobile orders have created what former Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz calls a mosh pit. A crowd of waiting customers, discouraging people from staying to enjoy their drink in store and possibly order more.
You see steam and foam, the sugar you do not see does the work. The quiet culprit that turns a white chocolate drink into dessert is not the espresso. It is the syrup and sauce blend, sweetened like candy and poured by the pump. Let's start with the simple math. Syrups are liquid sugar. 2, 3, 4 pumps slide in fast, and the skinny label does not stop them. A non-fat milk swap without a pump change still drops a heavy load into the cup. Add a sweet base, then top with whip, and you have a stack. Syrup in the drink, sugar in the sauce, sugar in the base, sugar in the topping. But here's the kicker. That cozy fall latte is so good it sells itself. The syrup behind it is built on corn syrup-style sweeteners. If you ask for skinny, the default still keeps multiple pumps unless you say fewer.
And people were wondering whether coffee made atrial fibrillation worse, because they can get rid of atrial fibrillation, but it tends to come back. And this was a study of recurrence of atrial fibrillation. So one group had coffee, and one group did not have coffee and did not have any caffeine in their lives. And it's a serious arrhythmia because it's where the top two chambers of the heart quiver and don't transmit information to the bottom two chambers, and the heart runs very fast and irregularly. And you can get blood clots forming on the left side of the heart, and they monitor them. And the group with coffee had fewer recurrences of atrial fibrillation than the people not on coffee.
So the health halo stays on while the sugar count climbs. Liquid sugar hits fast. Your body absorbs it quicker than a solid snack, so you get a spike, then a slump, then the reach for more. Public health groups warn about added sugars in drinks for a reason. In a cup, it bypasses the brakes that real food puts on you. Now the heavy hitters. White chocolate-style sauces and mocha bases are dense. A few tablespoons can outsweeten several sodas. That is how one venti white chocolate drink crosses sodaland by a mile. Not magic. Just concentrated sauce. And about that, natural flavor, tag. It sounds clean. It is a catch-all for lab-built blends that mimic taste without the fruit or spice. Flavor without the food. One more thread to pull. That bright pink that pops in your feed. The glow leans on a red dye that draws warning labels overseas. Different rules. Same cup.
Is that there are fewer instances of heart attacks and strokes on people who are taking coffee. So coffee is not necessarily bad for the heart. What is known to be bad for the heart in terms of atrial fibrillation is alcohol.
Very interesting. Do we know why?
There is evidence in other areas that coffee is not necessarily bad for your heart, that coffee drinkers, assuming that they're not smokers at the same time, because that's the confusing thing with coffee is, it used to be that coffee drinkers were smokers too, and that's not necessarily true anymore. And that's also an Australian study which showed drinking alcohol can make recurrence of atrial fibrillation worse. So coffee okay, alcohol not.
So what makes the white chocolate mocha push past 3 cans worth of sugar? High fructose corn syrup, type sweeteners and syrup-based sauces, doing the heavy lifting you never see. Now let us talk about the flavors and colors that sell the vibe but skip the real ingredients. If a latte tastes like pie, why does the ingredient list skip pumpkin? And what is that pink glow really selling you? The truth is, the flavor notes you love are often built in a lab, not a patch or a spice rack. Natural flavor reads farm fresh. Practice it is a bundle of compounds assembled to mimic a taste profile. It can start from a natural source and engineered mix that never touched the real food you think you're getting. Now the real kicker. Our favorite is not just milk and with a little flair. Once you add the syrup, the drizzle, and the whip, you are dealing with a build that can run past 20 ingredients. That is a sundae in coffee clothes. How does it stay smooth and perfect? Stabilizers and preservatives do the heavy. You will see names like potassium sorbate. They keep sauces pourable on the shelf form in your cup. Useful for texture. Same as cream and sugar. Regulators leave a wide lane here. The FDA allows broad flavor, and that umbrella covers mixes made by extraction, distillation, and planned reactions. It is legal language, not a promise of fruit or real spice. Even the topping plays along. Whipped cream holds shape thanks to propulsifiers that keep air trapped and fat mixed. Great for photos. Food add-on. About that pink drink. Bright color often relies on red for. The US allows it, while parts of Europe attach warnings or limit use. Same dye. Different. Light syrup, swap trimmer but leaves the rest. The color stays. Div stay. Low stays. The payoff. Cell tastes like pumpkin pie. Skips pumpkin because the flavor is lab-combined spice notes, not squash. That natural flavor, in your maki bundle of lab-built compounds under one friendly label. The pink drink raises flags abroad. Beans on red 40. So what is the takeaway when you want the chemical parade? Keep your caffeine. Orders do the most work. Plain coffee, an espresso with milk, or 1 pump instead of 4. Less dye. Less apps. The whip. Avoid syrups. Check the nutrition page before you tap order. If this gave you something to chew on, subscribe, and send it to a friend who loves fall drinks. The truth is, you do not need the parade perk. Keep the caffeine, lose the sweet life. Like and subscribe to help us keep the food industry's best kept secrets.